Hello beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda, and today we're going to dive into the Pisces full supermoon lunar eclipse energies. We are fully in the eclipse window here in Virgo season. And this has been a buildup of energies. We've been feeling eclipse energy for some weeks now. It's always how it works with the eclipses. And it sets the tone for the next 6 months. Now we are also in the nodal axis, the lunar nodes of Aries and Libra, but this is giving us a little taster of the Virgo Pisces axis that we're going to be entering come January when the nodes switch. So there is a lot of beautiful energy coming through, but it's also a very mixed bag, and we're working with a lot of collective intensity energies one-on-one on the timer. I have been seeing a lot of numbers, so I have a couple of channeled messages, number of numbers to share, and a few cards that I'll share at the end. Not a full card pull, but I decided to kind of just see what the energies were, and it already, very much aligns, the bottom of the deck energy. So I'll share that later, but let's get into it. So the big message that I have been feeling is this energy of surrendering to control. Surrendering control and surrendering to the divine. Releasing control and surrendering to the divine, right? That's how surrender works. But there is this big energy there with that Virgo and Pisces opposite. Well, it's not an opposition. They're actually the most alike opposites in the zodiac, according to, one reader. And I feel that. I definitely feel that. So Virgo is very practical, analytical, focused on the body, while Pisces is very mystical, spiritual, ethereal, very much in the emotional and mental body. So when we merge the two, we get this beautiful wholeness and harmony coming through. But when we have these eclipses, what happens is the shadow aspects become highlighted. And of course, we're also working with the Libra and the Aries energies to a degree. And there's a lot of other aspects going on. So with this Virgo Pisces axis, it's very much about healing. It's the healing axis. So healing the physical body. So what's being amplified right now is rest and nourishment and self-care, mind, body, soul, spirit on every level, holistic self-care to nourish ourselves. So, this is really about getting right with yourself on every level and getting very clear and honest with yourself about where you're still operating in old, outdated patterns, what you're still holding on to, and what needs to be released. Full moons are always about release and clearing. Eclipses amplify that. And this Virgo energy is very much pushing us to get organized and structured and disciplined. There's other aspects that amplify that energy as well with Saturn and such, which I'll share a little bit about as we get deeper. But that's very much the foundational energy. It's actually about building the foundations. So I have been seeing fours, that foundational energy coming through, that structure. So there's a difference between structure and discipline and control. So when we're trying to control a situation, that's our ego wanting things to look a certain way. So it's this beautiful balance that we're being called into, that wholeness and harmony aspect of having structure and discipline in our life to get the stuff done, but also being adaptable and flexible and allowing that divine guidance to really take the lead. So that's that aspect of surrendering control, surrendering the control that our ego would want to place on things like, oh, like I'm scared if the money isn't coming in, or I've been doing it this way for so long, how could I let go of it now? You know, that's kind of controlling, and that can come into relationship dynamics as well. Are you trying to control the outcome, control the way the conversation's going to go? Communication is amplified on a lot of different levels during this time as well. So really, it's about going in and getting really right with yourself so that you can respond with integrity to the external circumstances. Now, there's a lot of collective chaos going on. This is also what eclipses do, and we're going to get deeper into this because this is very much connected to the age of Pisces into age of Aquarius energy. So I'm going to get deeper into that. But with all this collective chaos going on, it's this pulling energy. It pulls us outside of ourselves. So the huge lesson, the huge message right now is to surrender and release that as well, and to really tune in. It's always about tuning in with yourself first and foremost, but especially right now, that is very much amplified and highlighted because we are having all of this collective chaos coming up. So again, we just need to stay anchored and grounded in ourselves and our truth first and foremost. And, you know, anytime we do get triggered, I just saw a mirror number 616. So it reminded me of this message as well. You know, it's always a mirror reflection of something that maybe we still have to integrate or grapple with, or perhaps release as well. So what are the shadows that are coming up to the surface right now? It's really time to face that head on and not procrastinate and not sweep it under the rug any longer. So it's a time to get super clear and honest with ourselves. So, because of this energy, it's very much about breaking those bad habits. So procrastination, self-doubt, are there limiting patterns that you fall into, the stories that you tell yourself, limiting beliefs, people pleasing? It's really a time to clear the clutter on that level, as well as any physical clutter in your environment that's not uplifting, that's not serving. I just saw another mirror number. So this is a time to really make way for abundance, for that new earth abundance. And that's very much also about staying adaptable and flexible and open to the new possibilities that might come into your field. I actually did a Pathways to Prosperity meditation the other week. It was my own meditation, but something completely unexpected out of the blue came into my field right after. And the funny thing is, it was something that had been shown to me like a year ago, and I didn't see it. Well, it wasn't presented in the same way, but I didn't see it then. And when I saw it this time, I was like, no way. This is so not what I thought it was before. So, you know, allow yourself to stay open, allow yourself to be surprised even, and to, you know, not get triggered or reacted and have preconceived notions of how things are supposed to look or how a conversation is meant to go, perhaps. You know, stay open is a big message as well. While we are being called to go within, we're meant to stay open to the pathways that are being open to us, because eclipses are game changers. They're always game changers. They set the tone for the next 6 months, and there are also opportunities for absolute breakthrough and life-changing dynamics to come through. So we're in the window right now, and within the next couple days, there's a couple aspects, and then we have the Autumn Equinox on the 22nd, which is always about coming into balance, the light and the dark in perfect harmony and balance. So that's another opening up. The equinoxes are always portals to the divine. You can look at it like that. And they help us to really connect, see through the veil of illusion and deception is really being lifted with this eclipse. And then we have this equinox energy right in the center of it. And then October 2nd, we have the solar eclipse in Libra. So this Libra energy of balance and justice is also coming through, but it's also, you know, the shadow aspects of the of relationships and things that are being highlighted and amplified for us to get really grounded, to create those boundaries as we move forward, and to not settle, to really not settle. This is, you know, a powerful time to raise our standards and to say, these are my values, this is what I am worth, and to raise them up. To say, wait, why have I been allowing this? Why have I been settling? And this isn't just about relationships, this is about financial reality as well. You know, Venus is a ruler of Libra, and that's very much, you know, the realm of Venus is beauty, luxury, abundance, as well as love. So all of these themes are coming up for us to really anchor into and claim our worth as we move forward. Healed mind, body, soul is the energy that we're being called to step into, with that Virgo and Pisces energy calling us to really integrate the shadows and, you know, upgrade our lifestyle, upgrade our routines to reflect our sense of elevated self-value and self-worth. So are we eating in a way that isn't really aligned with our highest good, and we're aware of that, but we're kind of stuck in that pattern? Or have we, you know, whatever your thing is, are you eating, drinking? Are there addictions that you've got to face and confront? So all of these themes are coming up right now for us to really just get clear on and honest. Again, that honesty piece, honesty with ourselves is so key on this journey. Are we operating in integrity? Are we operating in our authentic truth? So these themes are really consistent throughout the entire journey of spiritual awakening, but there are particular aspects that come with alignments and eclipses and so on and so forth that amplify certain layers of the journey and certain energies that we're working with. And they're always an opportunity for us to go deeper so that we can rise higher on the other side, empowered and embodied in that authentic truth. So this is why eclipses can be very powerful. They can be massive game changers and have this breakthrough energy, but you do have to work with it, because if you kind of let the opportunity slide, you know, it might not come back with that same level of energy. So we always are gifted new opportunities, but it is up to us to choose. We have to choose that higher timeline, and it's just going to get more challenging. Life will face, if we consistently resist and push it back, life will give us more friction to force us to move through and to power through the limitations. And sometimes the limitations can feel very confronting and very real. That's not to deny that, but this journey is about remembering how powerful you are and how resilient you are, how powerful of a creator being you are, and that you can overcome no matter what. Many people have overcome incredible challenges to manifest incredible success. So trust that if you keep taking the aligned actions, you've got to take the aligned action though, but if you do, that things will spiral up and that you will be rewarded for continuing to do the work from that space of authenticity and integrity. So collectively, this is very much bringing illusions and deceptions to light. So we've also had 2 X-class flares rolling into the eclipse energy. So we've had so many energies ramping up and up and up. We had the 9/9 portal. We had the, 9/11 was a big day energetically. I felt like last week was a major portal of rebirth, and then it was ushering us into this eclipse season. So it's this whole portal of rebirth, which is very much about Virgo energy. Now, when we get into the zodiac, we're talking about the tropical astrology right now. I also attune to galactic astrology, which we haven't actually formally entered Virgo season, or actually we may have. I forget the precise date because it is so not in alignment with our typical understanding of the zodiac. I haven't totally anchored in, but Virgo season starts much later than according to that calendar. So this Virgo energy from a higher soul aspect is kind of how I connect with it. It's still very much working through us as we move forward to help us get our body purified and detoxed. So this is another energy, detoxification and cleansing during this time. So, you know, if you want to do the sauna or upgrade your diet, do a proper water fast or a juice cleanse, something like that. You may be feeling called to really clear yourself out on the physical level as well. So, you know, sweating is also always good. That's great for the lymphatic system as well. Anything good for the lymph and the blood will be very beneficial at this time in particular. So, of course, this supermoon energy is part of the eclipse. To have a supermoon and an eclipse together, by the way, is pretty rare. So this is really bringing things even more up to the surface. It amplifies the energy because a supermoon means it's closer to the earth, so it has a greater pull. And because we are water bodies, it is pulling on us because it's all held in the water consciousness of the body, right? All of the trauma and emotional wounds and the shadows, if you will, it's held within the water body, the water memory. So when we are working with the supermoon energy with an eclipse, it can have a massive pull. Now, it depends on your own chart and aspects, how much you're feeling it, how intensely you're feeling it, as well as where you're at on your own personal journey. So there's a lot of layers and nuances. Maybe you felt it really strong. Maybe you felt it more mildly than you expected. But remember, it's not over. We have the solar eclipse. Sometimes the next one, you're like, oh, this wasn't so bad. But the next one comes through. This has been my experience. I was like, okay, I rode that wave pretty well. But then the next one comes through and it's like, whew, doozy. But also, you know, you just hold the energy of surrender and trust. And it will allow that process to flow more easily. The more we resist, the harder it is to do that releasing. Okay, so it's very much overall about this deep soul alignment, as always on the journey, but very much so with this, it's that embodiment of the soul aspect. So that Pisces energy with that spiritual essence, this is very, you know, a heightened intuition is coming through, spiritual awakening and activation is coming through. So soul gifts may be activated as well, but with that Virgo energy, it's about embodiment. It's about anchoring them into the physical. So this is of that holistic energy for sure. So we also have Neptune conjunct Pisces right now, and Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So Neptune isn't conjunct Pisces. There's a conjunction with Neptune in Pisces. I said that completely backwards. But Pisces is sensitive, so this overwhelm and fatigue might be coming up to the surface. And it's also about the shadow aspects of like illusion, where we're being operating an illusion ourselves in our reality, in our personal reality, and you know, where we're deceiving ourselves and where we're allowing ourselves to be deceived. Manipulation energy might be coming to the surface as well with the shadow aspect. So, you know, the age of Pisces, to get into this collective energy now, the age of Pisces is what we've been in, and it's what we're exiting, of course, as we enter into the age of Aquarius. And because this is the Pisces full supermoon lunar eclipse, this energy of endings of the Piscean age feels very, very amplified. So all of those shadows are coming up to the surface in the collective. And because this is a Neptune energy as well, it's all of the illusions and the deceptions being revealed. And so the chaos in the collective is very high right now. The chaotic energies that are pulling on us, we've got to detach and not get emotionally corded into it, not get emotionally hijacked by the chaos. We can see it for what it is, but we must stay grounded in ourselves. And if we feel ourselves getting pulled into that chaos, then it's a sign to take a step back. So I also had this message of running on empty come through. And I was actually lighting my sage and the lighter had gone out. I was able to light it after, but instantly I had this message, running on empty. So this is also a reminder to recharge your batteries, to rest, to hydrate, to do all the things that you need to fill your cup. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? And if you're running on empty, that's not the right energy. So that's, again, that forcing versus surrender. Take 10 minutes to lie down, listen to frequencies, and refuel your energetic field with those high light frequencies. Are you engaging too much in in the social media and all of the people talking about X, Y, and Z going on in the collective? I am curious about these things, but I have to be very mindful about my gene keys are truth and illumination. So I have a strong sense of wanting to know the truth about what's going on in the world, but it's also that higher truth that, I am more focused on. So I have to remember not to get too swept up in that chaos, but it is wild what's going on in the collective right now. So these themes are being highlighted collectively. So the age of Pisces is the cult of individuality. It's the me culture, right? So it's the age of me, and Aquarius is the age of we. So we're exiting that individuality and entering collective kind of essence. But politically, that has become very distorted. So the progressive values that are put forth are very distorted and inverted in many cases. And, so these illusions are coming to light. The deception through the political theater is actually assisting us in seeing the truth. Awakening is to the dark and to the light. But the dark is not where we're meant to dwell. We're meant to see the illusion and remember our spiritual essence. Remember the truth of who we really are. We've been suppressed, and that darkness has been suppressing us. And so it's that the hierarchy, the control, the power over paradigm is over. So money, power, control, these themes are coming to the surface with the age of Pisces, ending with this Pisces supermoon eclipse, eclipsing it out. This is also the time in the last 2,000 years that it really began with the birth of Christ. So spirituality was really amplified with this Piscean energy, but it became also very distorted and more dogmatic. It was about church and religion, less a direct connection. So things got co-opted and inverted, obviously. So externalization was very much the energy rather than that inward connection with the divine, which is what we are returning to as we enter the age of Aquarius and this bigger ascension process going on. So it's the search for meaning outside of ourselves versus the search within. And this is also the time of the birth of modernization and, concepts of, and technology. So technology is going to be really amplified as well. Distortions as well as the possibilities. So we've got to have high discernment. But the duality, age of Pisces really amplified the duality of good versus evil, light versus dark, good and bad, heaven and hell, sin and sacrifice. So this duality and the distortions that has come through the duality is now what is being called to be integrated. And again, we have the equinox energy helping us to merge the two. I also have an integrating duality process that came through last year, an activation. and a goddess transmission and a PDF guide. So I will link that below if you'd like to access that and support you during this time, because this integration of duality and mind, body, soul is amplified with the Virgo Pisces energy, also with the equinox, and that's just the name of the game on this general journey. So it's always a good time, but now is a very beautiful, extra potent time to do this work. So this has been about a search for transcendence, but the shadow aspect of Pisces is escapism. And we see a lot of that in the spiritual teachings, the New Age teachings, I should say specifically. It's about going up and out, oh, I want to go home, yada, yada, rather than anchoring it into the body. And, you know, this is our home. The body temple is our home. The earth is our home. And so that is the major lesson. So, the loss of sense of reality, self-destructive tendencies as well, drug abuse, alcoholism, addiction of any form, really, because it's escapism. It's taking us outside of ourselves, seeking the answers outside of ourselves, seeking solace outside of ourselves. And that's the lesson. So all of these themes are being really amplified right now, and we can see the rise in all of these, especially in the last 4 years, the collective issues of drug abuse and, you know, how alcoholism has just been celebrated, or, you know, drinking heavily has been celebrated, I should say. No, alcoholism itself. But yeah, there's also been this like religious fanaticism that has come through, and an intolerance for people who have beliefs that are not aligned with theirs, or a different path of God, you know? And there's this huge layer of guilt and suffering that has come through religion and spirituality. So that is what is ending right now. So with Pluto in Capricorn for the last time at 29 degrees, the last degree, the anaretic degree, the systems and structures are also basically ready to collapse. That's what's happening. That's what kind of needs to happen. Excuse me. Hydrate. But the systems and the structures is what Capricorn is about, right? That Capricorn energy. And Pluto is about, you know, the underworld and highlighting and amplifying what isn't in alignment. So, and it's about transformation. So we are transforming the systems and the structures as the Pisces energy is showing us, with the illusions and the deceptions of the distortions of this age coming to light. The systems and the structures upon which this entire inverted matrix has been built are being revealed. Like all of the corruption is being revealed. So this is the end of the top-down hierarchy. And so all of those systems and structures built on that are basically at a point of collapsing. How bad it's going to be, what exactly it looks like, is a question mark. Those of us who are on the path, we know that divine abundance is here and it's coming, and we are supported. So, you know, this age of Aquarius now is going to amplify the age of, it's the age of we, so it's going to amplify humanitarian aspects. So coming together in cooperation, and it's like discovery, innovation, progress, and this thirst for change, longing for a better future is very much felt in the collective. And what we're going to be called to do is to come together to create the solutions ourselves. So this is very much about handing the power back to the people, and the ones in control are basically grasping at their last straws to have control. They don't want to release their grip, and they're trying to bring as many down with them. It's really sad, but remember that, you know, we signed up for this and all of that, but we have to remember it is also incumbent upon us to actually take the aligned action steps to build that more beautiful future for ourselves by coming together, by getting ourselves right first. We have to get right with ourselves, create that inner foundation, that inner structure from which we are meant to build systems of harmony and wholeness and abundance for all. So this is that revolutionary energy coming through as well. The revolution, it must begin within. And when we look at the grander shifting of the ages from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, we can see in the latter stages of age of Pisces, the revolutionary energies. So in the 1700s, which is technically toward the, in the last quarter of this age, we saw in America and France and ongoing, there's been a lot of this revolutionary energy. And on the flip side, they're trying to sell communism as the solution when it's really not. It's still rooted in that old system of hierarchy and power over, because who is in control at that point? A very small elite. Always, in every case, it fails. So that is not the answer either. That is not the solution. We will not find the solutions in these old systems and forms of governance. So we've got or politics itself. Politics is part of the whole psyop, right versus left. It's not even about that, right? So this is where the spiritual war is really peaking now. And this is why it's so important to get anchored in our body, anchored in our truth, and in authenticity and integrity, so that we can move forward empowered as embodied way showers and leaders, anchored in the higher truths that are meant to be the structure and foundation for the new earth that we are building, for heaven on earth. So let's see what else. Saturn, structured discipline. So yeah, the Saturn energy, I'm not going to get too deep into all the other aspects, but the Saturn is actually assisting us in creating the new systems and structures within ourselves, so that we have that strong inner foundation, so that we can create that foundation in the tangible. And people are already working on this actively, but we have to remember not to rush the process. It is time for action for sure, but don't take preemptive action. That action must be really anchored and grounded in a very solidified internal reality first. So it's Saturn brings us kind of back to reality energy that opposes that Neptunian energy. So the Sun and Uranus and Pluto are also making really beneficial aspects right now. So there's this death and rebirth energy in the mix, which very much is about Pluto, but it's the death of the old to rebirth the new. And like I said earlier, that rebirth energy came through really strong last week as well. I did a whole 3-part series ending on 9/11, the birth of Christ consciousness. So there was a lot behind that. If you're curious, I can add the link below for that. Cosmic Grace Holy Trinity. And which includes that pathway to prosperity as well that I mentioned. That was the masculine energy coming through, healing shame and root chakra energy as well, related to abundance and worthiness. So we're very much working with this rebirth energy very potently, and with that we are seeing this major upheaval in the collective, because collectively we are also feeling this energy and we are primed for a rebirth. But how does that happen? By releasing the old. So yeah, upheaval is going to continue, I believe, for, it's not going to happen overnight, obviously. 2025 is a 9-year. 9 years is about completion. So, you can look at your personal chart, your life path, whatever numerology you work with. Do you have a 9 in your birth year, like your age rather? Your birth date? Are there strong aspects of 9? This is a time of completion. It's also a time of completion for the collective, but also choose the higher vibration of completion. If you have a dominant 9 energy in your personal charts, then work with that sense of empowerment. I feel like that power that comes through that 9 energy. It's like you've learned the lessons, you're good to go. It's kind of how I'm working with it, because yes, I have some 9. Not my life path. My life path is 1. But so yeah, again, structures in life are changing. The internal structures are changing, and it's a time to surrender, stay open, be flexible, and stay adaptable with all of these energies. So again, it's raising standards and values and beliefs and holding boundaries, also for the financial stuff. So don't settle, as I was saying earlier. Oh, and then finally, this Mars and Cancer energy is really urging us to get clear with, so Mars is also the ruler of Aries. So this is that lunar node energy coming in. So get clear on what areas need to change and take action. So we've kind of gotten into this already, but it's just another aspect highlighting that. What needs to change so that we can take empowered and aligned action as we move forward? That's very much the Aries warrior coming in. It's time to step up and be the spiritual warrior of your life, the leader of your life, is what this energy is saying. So it's also with the Libra South node here with us through January, what unhealthy relationship dynamics need to go. So the eclipse energies work with us for 6 months, and they really help to move things out. The nodes will officially change in January. So this is about not holding back, not dimming your light as you move forward. So I did a quick like pre-shuffle, and because I think I'm going to do a separate video with the cards after all, but because this is already a little on the longer side, but out of the Work Your Light deck, these 3 cards like literally flew out when I was shuffling. So don't dim to fit in. There you go. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? Again, that honesty and clarity with self coming through. And then this is really beautiful, Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. So that's just like, it felt like a really beautiful affirmation of what is coming, as long as we allow ourselves to work with these energies. And then Dance with Life. Also loved that. Do something to change your energy. So this is, again, very much in alignment with the eclipse energy, changing things up so that we can move forward, you know, in more soul alignment is really what that is about. And then at the bottom of the deck, the starseed, nothing really popped out, but when I finished shuffling, the cosmic heart was right there at the bottom. Devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. I love that. I love that affirmation of just going within and surrendering to the divine, Ooh, excuse me. And you know, maybe there's something about speaking up, speaking your truth that needs to come through as well. Oh, I have a couple more cards, but let me not forget the numbers. So 333 and 555 came very strong into my field, as well as 144 in the most hilarious way. 111 and 11, 1111, 1111. I also saw today, and it was like, you know, I see these numbers all the time. I see all the aligned numbers all the time. The 4s I mentioned, but these, it just like struck me in such a way that it felt like, you know, there were reasons to share it. So from the tarot, the Ace of Swords came out, which feels like such a beautiful encapsulation of this energy. And I also just love that, like, that tiger feels very much like Aries energy. It's literally leaping forward, and it's this beautiful rose garden energy. There's a bird with you know, a nest of eggs, that's rebirth. Oh, there's 2 birds actually. So that's like relationship, union kind of thing, birthing the new earth energy with all of this, you know, beautiful garden, connection with the divine, with the sky up there. But Ace of Swords is about truth. It's about speaking your truth. It's that air energy coming through. So getting things right in your mind, that clarity and honesty. So that sort of truth, cutting through all the clutter and deception and illusion, so that you can really be this powerful warrior. And then we've got more feline energy coming through from the Lemurian Star Child deck. This was just at the bottom. These, this one kind of came out, the Ace of Swords, it kind of flew out. And then this one was just at the bottom. Peace beyond survival, that's the foundation. That's the foundational energy, peace. For our root chakra, survival energies are held within the root chakra. So the fact that this was even on the bottom of the deck specifically feels just like an extra layer of yes, we've got to get anchored in our truth, in our inner peace before we move forward. So what energies of survival are we still operating in? Lack, scarcity, fear, anxiety. It's time to really get clear and honest with ourselves. So this actually is the 11 number, the 11 card as well. Peacemaker through inner peace, resolving ancient splits. So this resolving ancient splits can go very deep, depending on where you're at on your journey, into, you know, the original splits in consciousness, the original falls in consciousness, but also, you know, in your personal life, where has there been a split energy because of trauma, because of relationship, you know, where have you not forgiven perhaps is coming through. And then this downward triangle I'm feeling really called to. So that's feminine energy. That's the anchoring that I've been discussing. So yeah, this was a lot of energy to share. I just didn't feel aligned, like sitting down with it yesterday. I've been writing my book, so I was focused on that, but there was something about waiting until today about sharing it, because this energy, we're in the window still, so it's not like too late, right? And the eclipse was overnight, technically late, you know, depending on where you live in the world, so we're very much still in it. I will drop those links below, and I do offer a deep dive container to really get embodied. It's the true journey of transformation, rebirth into radiance, and this is really the foundational journey that I personally feel, you know, everybody's going on some degree. So why not use a roadmap and have support and guidance along the way? Because I struggled a lot of the ways, you know, a lot of the time on my journey, I didn't know what to do next. And this is what I see collectively is people dabble there, they get that activation there, they don't know how to integrate it and embody it, and, you know, work with all of the different layers of the body from a space of wholeness and integrity. So this is what I have for you. If you're curious, you can reach out, and I will drop the links below. So I'm sending you much love, onward and upward. We got this.